Yvette Hockberg and I are in United Nations Plaza on Saturday, February 5th, 2011, where the American Egyptians and a lot of other groups are protesting in support of the Egyptian people and getting Mubarak out of the country. And Yvette is a producer on KPFA. She came over from Berkeley for this too. And what did you think of this demonstration today?
I thought it was absolutely exciting. There was a huge crowd. I'm not sure, but at least the people on stage said there were between 7,000 and 8,000 people.
Here
today at the demo. Hopefully that was true, and that's really exciting. And it was all kinds of people out in solidarity with Egyptians and Tunisians, and there was real unity. And people were saying we have to support the struggles all over the world, and that's what it's really all about. We're all connected, and we all have to unite to work together and support each other. And that's also the exciting thing that's happening in Egypt now too, that all kinds of people have come together at the demonstrations, and they said we don't want to just get Mubarak out. We want to get the whole government out, and we don't want anyone else to make any decisions for us. That we want to decide who we want to have represent us, who we want to represent us.
And this is a real standoff because they've been there how many days? 12 days?
Something like that, yeah.
And Mubarak keeps pulling these tricks, and I heard today on Al Jazeera English that he's digging in his heels, and he's got apparently support from the Obama administration.
Absolutely, and Obama is saying that people should support Suleiman. If Mubarak is ousted, then Suleiman should take over. The people definitely do not want Suleiman in. They want to get rid of all of them.
Why?
They don't want the Islamic Brotherhood to take over. They don't want it to have any. They don't want to have any group take over. They said we're Christians, Muslims, labor, youth, all kinds of people that have united to work together.
And what people should know is the Islamic Brotherhood is a tiny little
It's
group
very
with
tiny.
no power, and
Absolutely.
the Egyptians can't understand why the Americans are all wigged
Right.
out about the Islamic the Muslim Brotherhood, and it's because Fox News has a huge presence in that part of the world, and they can't understand why the Americans are so concerned, and they're making all this business about the Muslims and the terrorism and scary stuff. So,
and unfortunately, there are people that believe that, but in reality, I would say probably the majority of people don't believe anything that Fox says,
of the Egyptians.
and of all kinds of things that Fox puts out.
You mean you're talking about the Egyptians?
But
don't
certainly
believe
the
that.
Egyptians or Islam, and unfortunately people don't get that information because they're not exposed to alternative media.
Are you talking about Egyptians?
Egyptians, yeah. But you were talking about the Islamic Brotherhood at that time.
Right.
I do want to say that a couple of days ago, Israel sent another plane load of weapons to Mubarak. So, we're really worried that they're going to bomb the hell out of the people. And they're also saying that they're trying to get other countries to support Mubarak. They say we have to keep the peace in the region, that if Mubarak goes, then there'll be a domino effect, and then the whole area will blow up.
Right.
And so they're trying to force countries to support Mubarak.
Right.
Yeah.
And can you tell me, going back to Suleiman, what is the problem with Suleiman?
Suleiman was involved with extraordinary rendition. He's a murderer. He's, involved with torture. He's part of that whole regime.
Torture of both people they brought to Egypt and extraordinary
also
rendition.
Egyptians.
And Egyptians.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about El Baradei? What has happened with him?
Well, he came back, and at first they said he came back just in solidarity. He wasn't saying he was going to run, but now people are saying he's planning to run. So I'm waiting to see what will happen. He has done some good things, and so there are people that support him. I don't know if if people want him to be the next president or not, but
He's certainly better than Suleiman.
There's no question about it.
Well, Yvette, I'm now worried about what Israel is doing. That's
Absolutely.
something I didn't know, and that's great.
Well, they've been sending
Tell us
arms all
about that.
along. I mean, the tear gas that they're using, all the arms they've been using come from the U.S. So,
Right.
yeah, and the arms that Israel uses also. As a matter of fact, part of the agreement of U.S. sending aid to Israel and Egypt, actually, so we know that Israel gets the largest amount of aid from U.S. and Egypt is second. But they also have to spend a lot of that money in the U.S. They have to buy their arms from the U.S. So that's why we see a lot of the arms, the grenades, the tear gas saying USA on it.
And it's amazing that the Egyptians are so pro the Americans, despite the fact that they see those logos on the armaments.
I
I
think that fortunately there are countries, including in Iran, the mainstream believe that, Iranians hate Americans. It's not true at all. If they go to Iran, people will come over, they'll be hospitable, and they'll say, we love Americans, but we hate your government.
So they're smart people.
So it's the same thing in Egypt.
They get the fact that there's a difference between the two things.
You have to separate governments and people, which is what I always say. And I feel that, and I tell them I feel exactly the same way. I love the people, but I hate the government.
Thank you, Yvette. This
Thank
is
you.
great. I really appreciate it.
Sure. I appreciate you.